everybody. Hope you're having a great day today. This is life coach and relationship coach Roland The Real speaking. Today's video is going to be a tip for the men on how to be a better man for your woman. Boy, we could talk all day, but these tips are going to help you a lot, because men, women have this little bit of entitlement about their vagina. I guess it's been like that for a long time, and and men, we have an entitlement because we're men, maybe as providers, or we have much more responsibility than a woman, to be honest, at the end of the day, because men are very simple men and simple people, and women are very emotional, and they have, like, there's a list of what they would like for the perfect guy to be like, right? And men, we don't really have too much on our list. We're very simple, but the problem is that because we're simple, we live simple, and basically what women want, let's just put it like this. This is the tips that are going to help you have a better relationship, because a lot of men, they lose sight on what's going on in the day-to-day, as working, and their focus is on success and career and money. You've heard the financial clock. A woman has a biological clock, right? But men, a woman, she's going to want a lot out of you and expect a lot of you. She's a business all by itself, right? And if you understand this from the beginning, you'll be good. Some men do understand this, and a lot of men don't, right? So let's put it like this. Let's start with this. Men, she wants you to be an alpha male. An alpha male is a man who is centered in his emotions and balanced in career, thoughtfulness, being a gentleman, and still being stern in not letting her get away with disrespecting and all the tests that she puts on you, men. Because women test men. You might not realize it, but that's what they do, and they want to see how you react. If you fold and you become a puppy dog, then man, she's going to lose respect. She's not going to feel like you're a man. What's crazy is that, this alpha male, to be an alpha male, it's a lot of work, because it doesn't have to be a lot of work once you understand it, once you get it and you practice it and you implement it. But like on your day-to-day, it's hard for a guy more. It really is. So what she wants from you, she wants you, let's just start picking out some of the things I said on the list, like be thoughtful, right? She wants you to, buy some flowers just for no reason, no occasion. She wants you to do the dishes, right? She wants you to be spontaneous and, hey, surprise her with a trip or something, right? Whatever the case is. And it doesn't have to be major. We're not talking about gold diggers or anything, but it could be like a love note, like, hey, good morning, honey, or whatever the case is, right? These little things, they add up, and that's how they really stay in love and fall in love with you. But it doesn't stop there. It's much more complicating than that, because you have to have this balance of all these other things. So now she wants to see you successful, make money. She wants you to be a gentleman, opening the doors for her, the seat where she's going to sit down, the car door maybe. Speak to her in a, gentleman way, but at the same time, she wants you to be an alpha male and wants you to be strong and stern. And if she starts like getting out of pocket or talking a certain way, she wants you to put her in check. It's crazy, man. These women want you to put her in check, and you have to. And as men, some people are feeling like, hey, I don't want to live like that. I don't want to do that. And I agree with that. You shouldn't have to put your woman in check. But this is the job of the man. He's got multiple jobs to do to keep this woman happy, or most women happy. and it is draining, and it's going to be exhausting. And if you don't want to deal with all this, don't get in a relationship. Just don't do it. Don't marry them. Don't do it, because that's what it's going to take. And when you start lacking in any of those areas, because what's funny is you got to be great in all those areas. This is the perfect man in their eyes. Women have this idea of a perfect man, and that's just what it is. Some more good women, I would say, are not so hung up on, you being perfect. They know you got some flaws, and they don't focus on those flaws. They focus on your positives, which that's what a real woman, even man, should be doing with their partner. I mean, that's how they should work, because no one is perfect. That's why you have all these divorce rates, because everyone keeps looking at these negatives, and they look at the grass green on the other side. They don't water it where they are, and it's just foolish. Like, people will divorce and leave each other and go bring the same themselves into the next relationship. You bring you into the next relationship. It's just, that's silly. That's how you have serial divorces, right? Like, it's sad, and everyone keeps, doing the things wrong, and that's just how everything keeps ending up. So the bottom line is this: men, you need to understand, if you're going to be in a relationship, women, especially pretty ones, oh my God, especially the prettier they are, the worse it gets. But this just goes for all women, technically. They want a man to be a certain way, and you have to do those things. And then in their mindset, they start becoming unhappy. I got other videos about how to explain things like that, and some men are probably sitting here watching like, well, dude, I do as much as I can, and she's never happy. Well, those other videos are for that. That means they're just never happy. I mean, it ain't gonna work. It's like two people showing up to their business that they own, and one of them is only working, and the other one's stealing money out of the cash register, and they're not showing up to work on time. And it's just like, and then they wonder why their relationship doesn't work. Relationship takes work. So men, you have to have a balance about yourself. Some of this is experience, but if you were to learn from these videos, you can start, some men are 70 years old and still don't get this stuff. It's crazy. Like, they're gray haired, and I'm like, how do you not know by now? But I see how they could go their whole life not knowing this stuff, because it's very simple. It just gets away from people, and people are in that rat race, and they're focused all day about work, and they're constant rat race, and that's really the problem. I mean, but men, here's some tips. Be thoughtful. You love that woman, show her. So a lot of people talk about it, they don't really show it. It's not necessarily a monetary value. I had my aunt once told me, it stuck with me, but I agree with it, but then I didn't. But it's sort of true. If you give everything to a woman what she wants, there will be no reason why she won't be happy and love you forever. And I was like, okay, auntie, I understand what you're saying. That makes sense. But what about the demanding women that just want? They want a mansion. They want a car. They're not going to be happy until they have some of these things. And it's like, well, that's another ball game. In today's society, this is 2019, like, a lot of women are more demanding, and they watch these shows, and they want this lifestyle of Kim Kardashian and all these other things. And it's just like, it's not realistic. Your expectations are unreal. Now, can you live like that and have that kind of money? Yeah, you possibly can. It's not for everybody, and it takes work and dedication, and they need to understand that. So, man, I'm on your side when it comes to that. But the tips for you, the basics of what you should be doing, let's just go through them again. Being thoughtful, being a centered man, not letting their emotions run all over you and you react to their emotions. You cannot do that. I did it before because I loved them, and I was like, man, I'm trying to have a great day today, and you're like ruining it. And I would feed into it, and that's like a test every day, and they enjoy it almost to some weird degree. But stay centered. If they have a problem, and they're being, you know, angry or irate, just say, hey, honey, what's wrong? I want to understand what's happening. I know there's something bothering you. I'm not leaving until you tell me. We're going to figure this out. I don't want to see you like that. And you're going to have to talk like that. You're going to have to be their babysitter. Like, women are like 15-year-olds. They're just like kids. They're like big babies. Have you noticed that? Like, they act all tough and strong and this and that, but really they're just emotional babies. And you got to be aware of that. And when they're angry, they're just like crying for help. It's a cry for help. That's not the right way for them to get their point across or get your attention, which I totally agree, man. But if you're aware of this, you won't respond back and be like, oh, you're crazy. I can't do this. And you might feel that way. And if you feel that way, leave. Fine. You know? But, you know, we could make a million videos tangible about that. But what I'm trying to say is this. So, men, thoughtfulness, being centered, being a gentleman, you know, because if you're a real gentleman and you're a real man, you'll understand how a woman is, and you won't feed into that stuff. So when you're like that, what happens is you become a centered man. Like, really feel that for a second. Imagine just standing in where you are, you're sitting where you are, and you're just breathing and exhaling, and you just won't let nothing bother you. What's funny is that these women don't understand that men, we got emotions too. We have things that we want, but it sucks. I mean, honestly, it sucks because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. You will never be first. You really won't. I mean, you know, it's her emotions, what she wants, then it's the kids. If you have kids, then it's other people, then it's you. Usually it works that way, if you haven't noticed. If you have a good woman and she puts you first, then awesome, you know? But, so men, this is everything. Trust me, if I was doing these things in my other relationships, I would still be with them. You know, we wouldn't have broke up, and other people around the world, they wouldn't have divorced. They would have, it would just, everyone would be happier. And it's sad that the man has all the responsibility. It is the man's responsibility at the end of the day. You might not like it. I didn't say I agree with it. I'm just saying that's what it is. So you might as well play the game right if you're going to play it. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it'll also bring you more peace as well. Now, if you're a guy sitting there like, man, I don't want to do all this, and I'm tired of all this. Well, then you know what? Then you should not be in a relationship. You should just date whoever you want casually and live your purpose and be single. Like, that's just what it is, you know, because I'm going to tell you something right now, fellas. The woman is going to want a lot from you. She will be a business all by itself. You will have to run that business all by itself. You automatically have 2 jobs. That's what it is. You know, a woman wants just all these things from you, and you're going to have to do it. If you don't, then they're going to become unhappy. And then you're going to just sit there and call her crazy. And even though she might be, you're still going to have to do these things, right? I'm trying to think, is there any other tips that you could do? Well, again, you know, a man with a career, being thoughtful, being centered as a man, putting them in check, you know, when they are acting crazy or testing you. Realize everything's a test. Let's see. Don't forget to court them. Always court them. Like in the beginning of the relationship, when you courted them and you took them out and had fun, that's something you're going to have to do until you're dead with them, until you're old and gray. That's just something you have to keep doing, because the same things that you know let you lead to get them in a relationship and be with you, or vice versa, are the same things you have to keep doing. You know, you get in the rat race and you know, money might be tight and you don't have time for this and that, but you're going to have to, you know, have a balance and set up a day. Like if it's Sundays, then make it Sunday. I mean, don't make it every Sunday, switch it up to Friday or whatever the case is, like, you know, but you're going to have to make sure you keep courting. Very, very key, because it's very simple to just for years fall into a trap where you can't do nothing, you don't have money to go out, Well, if it's not about, if there's no money, then think of more creative ways. A picnic at the park. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. It could be, you know, a spontaneous day at the museum, or playing a game together, or whatever. I mean, there's many ideas, fellas, but make sure you're doing something, because if you don't, then it's just gonna, they're gonna get bored. Women are creatures of habit, and they get bored. They want excitement. I'm telling you, man, being with a woman, it's a full-time job. They want so many things, guys. And you're just going to have to accept that. It's what it is. If you have a low-maintenance woman, and she's, which I doubt, and I doubt she's hot, right? But if she is, and she's simple, you're a lucky man. That's just that. Just like, and if you're looking for something like that, well, then wait till you find that. Because if you don't have that, and you are with somebody, and that you can tell that they are more, their love language might be gifts, might be acts of service, you know, 'cause there's 5 of them, right, guys? So understand this, guys. I mean, I should make a whole nother video about that, but, you know, understand what their love language is. You know, the 5 are, 1 is time, amount of time you spend. Number 2 is affection, touch, right? The amount of, you know, physical touch. Third one is acts of service, meaning, you know, you did something nice for them, like did the dishes or whatever. Gifts are obviously buying them a gift, right? And number 5 is what is it? Affirmation, where you are saying I love you, or you're saying things to them, right? So, you know, and you know what their love language is. Ask them. You know, it's not a problem. Go ahead and ask them. Communication. Go ahead and you're good. Another tip for you guys is good communication. You must have good communication with them. You know, if you're sitting there trying to tell them something and they're not listening, or whatever the case is, right? Then, you know, say it a different way. Don't say it mean. Don't say it with an attitude, or don't say it as a demand, but, you know, really communicate calmly and seriously. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's so many things that a woman wants you to do, but you know, those right there are fundamentals, right? Like, if you can do those things, you'll be good, right? You'll go through your daily life with them and get through it more easily than you would if you're not doing any of these things. I'll tell you, your life will be hell if you don't do any of these things. You're probably noticing, like, yeah, well, you know, I'm macho, I don't want to do all those things. I have to do all that. Well, like I said, don't be with a woman then. But if you want to be with a woman and have a successful relationship, this is what a gentleman is. This is what an alpha male does. Some people think alpha males are, they just date whoever they want, drive sports cars, and don't. No, alpha males can be married and have a relationship that's successful, but they understand these fundamentals, and they have a good balance, and they keep their woman in line. They want to be in check. They want you to control them. They do. They want to be controlled. Even in the bedroom, have you noticed? Well, that's just what it is. So it's the same thing in regular life. But if you don't control them, they are going to control you. And if you don't let them control you, and you don't control them, well, then you guys are done. Period. So I hope this video helped. And I wish you guys all the best. And men, please listen to this. Trust me when I tell you, do what I'm telling you to do. It's very important. Subscribe, I would appreciate it. I spend my life trying to help people, and we do this, you know, to keep a living. And if you could make any comments or below or whatever you feel, I would appreciate that. And any videos that you want to hear more about, I've got a ton of experience, decades of it. I've watched also close family members of decades of issues, and that's why I got my relationship coaching certificate, because it's a passion of mine. And you know, and I wish people had this information. I wish I had this information. Things would be a completely 360, and you know, at the time with them, and that's what's important, man, is to learn. I mean, we should stop going through all these relationships and then finding out after it's over and you spent all those years to learn something. Like that's just foolish, you know? So, okay guys, take care. Love you all.